Okay, on this video I'm going to talk a little bit about planting a area that's fairly wet, and I'm not talking about something that in September, October will squish under your feet. I'm talking about it, I mean it's moist now, but during the winter time, a good bit of the time it will be fairly wet, sometimes squishing under your feet, sometimes actually have standing water for a half a day or a day or so after a heavy rain. And so I wanted to plant some ladino clover out here. It would do quite well, but due to some of the perennial grasses that we had out here, decided not to do that because I really need to spray it first, and we didn't do that, and we're too late in the year. So bush hogged it, then burned it, and put a little more lime. That's one thing I did want to say. Lime is very important if you have a low pH. For most clovers, you need a pH of 6 or better, and most sandy soils in the south, and I'm in Alabama, do not have a good pH for clover. They're generally in the 4.5 to 5.0 range. So anyway, back to what I'm planting here. This is a fairly wet area during the winter time, so I'm going to plant, or I have planted, several things that are adapted to more wet sites, not true wetlands, but a little more moisture than a lot of things can handle. Crimson clover cannot handle much moisture, a lot of moisture, and so I chose to go with a mixture of wheat, dwarf Essex rape, Austrian winter pea, and this, which is a new clover that's out called balansa clover. And if you read this, it's almost too good to be true. It says basically it'll handle waterlogged clay soils, droughty sandy soils, pH from 4.5 to 8.5. I find it difficult to believe that it will hold its own at a pH of 4.5. It's incredibly acid, and I don't hardly believe it. I'm going to put a little bit out in an area that we didn't lime, which I know is probably about a 4.7 from an earlier soil test. So we will see. And this is where it comes from. They've got distributors across the southeast. Now, let me say one thing. I am not big on advertisement. In other words, buying things that have a big buck on them and expecting them to be any better than the standard generic. So I'm a certified wildlife biologist, and I can tell you with 20 plus years of experience that I do not buy stuff that's brand name. I go get the generic ladino clover, the generic rape, the generic kale, generic crimson clover. So just for what it's worth, do what you want to, but I'm not spending extra money for a label on a bag. So anyway, that's my take on it, and I'm going to try this, and I will give you a video here next year and see how it does, and report back. See y'all later.